The ANC has confirmed that Justice Minister Thembi Simelane is appearing before the ANC's Integrity Commission over the VBS Saga. A cloud hangs over Simelane's head over allegations of links to VBS through a loan she received from a company which is alleged to have had links to VBS and allegedly brokered deals between the Polokwane municipality and the now-defunct Mutual Bank during Simelane's tenure as Polokwane mayor. Today's meeting is said to be virtual and is not open to the public. Now, while the ANC is expected to communicate any developments in the matter in due course, ANC Deputy President Paul Mashatile has highlighted the importance of this appearance.
She has already appeared. I know that she did say that she will do so. It's a good thing, and I'm sure it's important that her name gets cleared, and I'm sure that will happen.
All right, for more analysis, let's now welcome Political Analyst Dr. Levy Ndou. Dr. Ndou, thank you so much for your time. So far, since these damning allegations against the minister, we've seen her being summoned by Parliament. President Cyril Ramaphosa also calling for her to account. She's since handed over her report to President Ramaphosa, although still maintaining her innocence. What can we expect with this appearance before the party's Integrity Commission?
Unati, good afternoon to you. Good afternoon to the viewers at home. My view is that we should view this as the processes that the ANC has to embark on. She is deployed to Parliament by the ANC, and indeed, if there's something that will require some form of clarity, she indeed has to go and face the African National Congress. But we are lucky that she has appeared before the Portfolio Committee of Parliament, and indeed, we have been able to know her side of the story. I don't expect much to happen in the Integrity Commission, because my thinking is that she's going to continue to explain what she explained to the Portfolio Committee of Parliament.
And I mean, when you look at this particular allegation, and that speaks to, one of the biggest scandals to hit the country in as far as this being a bank, essentially for the poorest of the poor people in Limpopo, and the association then to have somebody linked with government, with the ANC, to this particular crime. When you also consider that the ANC's Integrity Commission is charged with overseeing, that its members adhere to its ethical code, what about that part of just the conduct from somebody that is meant to be protecting and protective of the resources of the state?
What is very painful about this situation is that people who lost this money are indeed the poorest of the poor, and they actually sacrificed a lot to have this money saved in the VBS Bank. What we also need to consider, and I think that is exactly what is going to demonstrate, whether indeed she knew that she was actually benefiting from the money that has been stolen or taken unlawfully from the VBS Bank. And if the committee has to make a decision, they need to look as to whether that has damaged the integrity of the party, and that has also put the reputation of the ANC into disrepute. So those are the areas, in my view, that the ANC has to look at. But my expectation is that Simelane is going to do all she could to demonstrate her innocence, and therefore, based on the information that is presented, the ANC Integrity Commission will have to take the recommendations to the ANC that must have a final say.
And I was going to ask you, Dr. Ndou, in terms of, just how much of a test is this particular matter for the ANC, just given that more than ever, its renewal policy has really come under scrutiny now more than any time, given, how it performed during the past elections, the national elections in May, and also now that it's formed an alliances from a national perspective, at least, under the government of national unity?
My view is that it is not about the ANC this time. It is about the members of the ANC who should do their best to ensure that the integrity of the party is constantly intact. When political parties campaigns all the time, they will be talking about corruption, they will be talking about wrongdoings that is done by the members of the ANC. And my expectation is that if there is someone who feels that he or she has actually crossed the line, that person must do the favor to the ANC, step aside, even though you might be having many other reasons not to do so. But in the interest of your party, you need to ensure that you protect the brand and at the same time assist the ANC in their renewal project.
And Dr. Ndou, what do you make of some of the reports that are making the rounds that the ANC's National Executive Committee will also be hearing some formal calls within the party itself, not only for the Justice Minister to step aside, but also the ANC MPs like Cedric Frolick, Malusi Gigaba, Deputy Minister of Water and Sanitation, David Mahlobo, and those, of course, that are implicated, as we're discussing now, in the VBS scandal?
There is a lot of work, in my view, that the ANC still has to do. The issues that relates to integrity and ill discipline within the party still has to be extended. Most people will agree with me that waiting for people to be charged appears not to be enough, because the brand that is constantly being damaged is the brand of the ANC. Equally, we'll also agree that the law enforcement agencies in the Republic appears to be moving very slowly in dealing with matters that are related to corruption and wrongdoing. And that will therefore leave some of those who are implicated to stay on within the members of the party and further damage the reputation of the organization.
And just from a leadership perspective, not necessarily party perspective, but the minister's role as the Minister of Justice, which is an important one, particularly under this climate of state capture, etc. But having just to, deal also with the NPA and other bodies that are meant to uphold the law. I mean, what would it take for somebody with good governance, good leadership, good ethical leadership to just step down or step aside while these investigations are taking place?
That is the issue that has been raised by the members of the Portfolio Committee, because after she has provided all the explanation, some people felt that because she's the minister, there could be a possibility of some form of interference in the activities of the law enforcement agencies like the NPA. And that is why there are those who have got a strong view that the minister should actually step aside, because there's a huge possibility for this issue to be investigated. Maybe a redeployment or a temporary leave, so that there shouldn't be a perception that is created out there that will seek to suggest that the work of these agencies could be compromised because the political head is someone who is implicated in wrongdoing.
Dr. Ndou, thank you so much for your analysis and, of course, your time right here on the show. Political Analyst Dr. Levy Ndou there for us. Of course, this at the back of the ANC confirming that Justice Minister Thembi Simelane is appearing before the ANC's Integrity Commission over the VBS saga.